Okay. Yes, it's really hard problems in which does exist from the beginning of humanity, I think, because even the first humans on Earth tried to have enough food, but also safe food. And we thought maybe quite recently, and especially in developed countries, that the problem was solved, but in fact it's not really very well solved. And we have the problem of we have the problem of food security, which did not exist during the last decades. Maybe more and more people are hungry and need food, and in other parts of the world sometimes it's far more difficult than for us. And at the same time, we try to improve the food safety, and very large progress has been accomplished concerning food safety. And one of those possibilities, and I think that rapid methods are there, in fact, to be able to control more and more food and to be able, with at a lesser price, to give some results about what happens for humans. But there is still the problem of people in developed countries. They want to have the best food for them, and they don't think to other people who are hungry. And even in supermarkets, for example, they try to give the food which is still good, still safe, to poor people, of course. And that I think that is one part of the solution. But the solution exists from there are different types of solution. I think that humans must be conscious of the fact that even if they have enough to eat, some other people don't have. And so they can try to find solutions together to make people have enough food security. And at the same time, we must have some controls and so on in order to have safe food. And that is very important. Even now, in fact, we saw some types of new risk. We have, during the past decades, different outbreaks with DSE, with listeriosis, with salmonellosis, with campylobacteriosis, and so on. And quite recently, very big outbreaks with E. coli. And in fact, with E. coli, it was a new strain. And one of the problems, I think, in the future, with the emerging risk is really the problem of new strains, because there are genetic exchanges between microbes and so on. And so we are never ready with those changes. And also because the types of production are very, very different, we have to control more, we should control more. And it's quite impossible to control because the food is distributed all around the world. We have really the risk of an emerging problem. And that is for microbes, but I think we have also probably some other problems with allergens, and more people are maybe allergic to different substances inside the food. And many scientists are also involved in the problems of nanoparticles, for example, because one never knows. We don't know enough to know the incidence in humans after. And I think that before using any technology, adding any new substance, we should be aware of the possible effects. That is really a risk assessment, but we must have also very good data to introduce. And it's very difficult to introduce a good data concerning the technique, concerning the food, and also concerning the individual susceptibility of people. which is very different. And there is a lot of work and research to be done. Yes. Of course, there are surely a lot of things to be done to prevent the situations. One of them is the problem of control of the situation, of the preparation of food, of different things. We have been very often, we have been speaking during the past years about the water, polluted water and so on, the way of manipulation and the way of distribution of the food, the way of the trade itself and so on. And also, of course, we don't know so much about the emerging risk, the possibility of exchanges between microorganisms. And so we have a lot of work from research, and of course it has improved very much during the past years, and the communication with internet is probably very important in that way. But we have also, what to say, a lot of things to know about those microorganisms and the way to control, I think. And also, I think that the problem of transmitting the information is we have to take care very much about that, because not to say that some vegetable or meat comes from one part of the world and the day after to say another thing. People must not speak before having the real solution or the real result of the problem, yes. And I think that's much work, yes.